Hello,
All right.
everybody. This is Agents of Chaos. As you can see, myself, Brandon here. We got Scott here. We got a special guest in the
Yes, sir.
podcast today. We got Professor Jexionis, my nephew.
What's
How
Yes,
you
going
doing,
on?
bro? How you doing?
yes, sir.
I'm good, man. I'm hanging there. I'm making
Good.
do.
No,
So yeah, we this is a special edition of draft edition. We're gonna do today. We're just gonna do a draft recap of the first round, which was crazy yesterday. And
Man,
there were a lot of surprises and things that we're gonna talk about. And then the next week, we'll do a full draft recap, winners and losers, all of that. What's coming up for the season coming up in the NFL, who you like, who you don't like, and then we'll also talk a little bit about the NBA playoffs. But today's just football. So if you don't like football,
let's
still
do it.
listen.
Do it.
You might learn some things. So, um, Skiz and Professor Jex, I'm gonna start with y'all. Just your winners and losers, no bias. Obviously, I got my bias on. You see what I'm rocking today.
Right.
I got my bias on. This is my winner. I had to put on the corporate though, cause Howie was doing his thing. So
right. I was about to say he GM'd out right now.
I got the GM joint today. So I had it. I was like, should I put the Randall Cunningham jersey
Look,
on or the T-shirt? I said, nah. You know what? I'm going corporate. This
Nah,
is for Howie. This is for Howie today.
you
Howie's the
got
goat.
the Howie
Howie's
Rose
the
him
goat of the
jersey.
last 5 years. Howie's the goat. But Skiz,
absolutely.
I'm a
So, Mel, guest podcast, man. Let's let you go first. What did you think of the draft this year, good brother?
I thought it was dope. As a biased Eagles fan, um, I was happy with who we picked. I was
Okay.
mad upset that we did not get Bijan though. I'm still on that. I don't care what nobody say.
I feel
Somebody,
you.
probably Jerry Jones, paid Atlanta to pick up Bijan because if Howie would have picked up Bijan, it'd have been a wrap. It would have been the greatest show on turf 2.0 with Jalen Hurts. So no.
Hey,
I agree. I agree with you there, bro. I agree with you. I
no
agree.
no disagreements there. Tell me, like Jax, like just touch a little bit on why you like Bijan so much.
Bijan, I feel like so I ain't gonna hold you. My little brother put me on Bijan.
Mm.
Um he was like, bro, just watch it. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm checking out highlights. I saw a couple games and I'm like, yo, this dude is fire. Like
Yeah.
his whole play style. So the main thing that I like the most about Bijan is, although he has some agility, like he's elusive, he runs north and south. So Bijan to hit you. And I like
I
that
like that.
because a lot of running backs don't do that no more. You know, me being a former running back, I mean, still like to say I am one, but like I like to hit people. You know what I'm saying? I like to go north and south. I'm gonna hit a hole. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna try to bounce to the outside if I can't see something or whatever. Like I'm gonna still run, you know what I'm saying, where I'm supposed to go, get them extra yards, and I'm good. And 9 out of 10 times you break them things and keep going. And then at the same time, the man got hands.
Mm,
So
true.
you don't really see running backs like that who also can catch,
Yes.
and it's not just like, you know, just a running back who can catch. No, like he catches like a wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it's good to see. I like that. And if we
Yeah.
would have had him, that'd have been shit. Our running back one and a wide receiver two.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's true. That's
So,
true.
or wide receiver three. So like, yeah,
Yeah.
he would have been
Yeah.
I say a better. What San Francisco wants Debo to be.
Oh,
Okay.
that's a
Okay.
good comparison. I like that. I
There you
do
go.
like that. I think that they would use Debo that way if they didn't need him to be wide receiver. Because
Right.
that's kind of what they do now anyway. So
Mhm.
that's a really good comparison. I think that that's accurate as far as how they would want to use him. Skiz, what you think about just not even Bijan not getting picked by the Eagles, but just him going to Atlanta? What do you feel like that does?
Well, real quick. I first want to give a shout out to the Brandywine Warriors cheer. They're down in Florida right now in the Nationals. Want to
Oh
give them
yeah.
a shout out quick. Secondly, Detroit just drafted the quarterback. They
Oh,
just yeah,
and then Hooker.
yeah. Third round. Yeah, they just drafted Hooker in the 3rd round, so that's going to be something that we can definitely talk about. With I like the Eagles would have gotten Bijan. I do. I wish they would have got him. I think he's going to be a good piece down there in Atlanta, but I think Atlanta has a lot more that they need, so they're going to lean heavy on him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. They do few players down there. I really would have wished he would have gone to the Eagles. I agree with Jex on that one. I think it would have made the Eagles very dynamic on offense. You know what I mean? But like I said before when we had spoke, the Eagles are not a number 10 team in the NFL, right? They literally made it to the Super Bowl. So any pick that they would have gotten was just like icing on the cake. And for them to be able to get another defensive tackle to put down on that defensive line, no one need help in the secondary, only helps them out. Because if you have a tough front four, that secondary can be average at best and still look phenomenal. You know what I mean? Out there on the field.
That's why I ain't mad. Like we got Georgia Bulldogs 2021. I'm not mad. Like
that's really what they did. Why you think I got red? Why you think I got red in my Eagles joint right now?
Mad green and red this season. It's gonna be a whole bunch of dog masks that's coming back. It's gonna be wild.
Philadelphia Bulldogs. And what's crazy?
Bulldogs. Yep.
I think it was actually doper than all of that. I don't know if y'all saw it, but when you guys got Nolan Smith, everybody from your squad was at his draft party.
Yep.
Yeah.
You were all there.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. So that's chemistry from the door. You know,
and Nakobe was there. He was like, I got green socks.
Yeah,
dog.
I saw that. I saw that.
Oh, yeah. They all gonna gel right in, fit right in with everybody.
So Micah Parsons, he watched it and he was sick to his stomach, and he has every right to be. Your quarterback's gonna get eaten alive this year. So it is. It is.
Micah low-key want to be an Eagle.
$40 million a year is worth it because they're gonna get eaten alive this year. Commanders, you better find a quarterback. If I'm a quarterback, I'm not going to the Commanders because you're gonna get eaten alive this year. I love it again only because, like I said, they weren't a number 10 team. They were still doing that because their GM made great moves with the trades and how he was moving and shucking and jiving. So I think it's great for them. I think it's great for the Eagles, for the NFC East. And it's about time that Philly has a complete squad everywhere on offense, on defense. So no, they didn't get a running. We talked about how Detroit drafted a running back, and now Swift is on the trading block. So the Eagles could make a move.
We're definitely going to talk about that. Definitely going to talk about that.
That could work.
I feel like I'm going to get into it. I'll get into it a little bit later just to kind of close it out. I'm going to reserve my Eagles love for the draft and what they did for like my closing argument.
Okay.
But like I'm with both of y'all. I think that it's clear front runner that the Eagles won the first round of the draft. I don't even think it's close. And it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens with the rest of the NFC period. I want to talk about my sleeper. I think sleeper draft, the first round, because it's first round kind of sets the groundwork for where you're gonna be. It kind of shows you where you're going to be for each team. I think that the second round and the third round is more or less like second round, third round, fourth round is where you make your money. Like you got it.
Yeah, you can find some studs down there.
You got to find.
I wonder if your sleeper is the same as mine.
Like just overall, I'll tell you in a second. But we'll talk losers first. My biggest loser in this draft is the Detroit Lions.
Without question.
I don't care who they got, but that's my biggest loser. But I'm gonna let one of y'all. I'm gonna let he's over here for me. I'm gonna let Scott do his loser. I'm gonna let you talk about the Detroit Lions. I'm gonna talk about one of my biggest losers, and one of my biggest losers of this draft is the team that didn't have a pick.
Mm-hmm.
That's the San Francisco 49ers.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about what you said. That 10th pick. Philadelphia is not a 10th pick team. So like you said, everything they get is going to be gravy. On the other side of that, you got a team like this 49ers who was in the NFC Championship. Correct. You know, they don't now they had Mr. Irrelevant quarterback, but guess what? We got tape now, Mr. Irrelevant. Absolutely. And he's not playing right now because he's hurt. Trey Lance is a question mark. He's been a question mark since he's been in the league. So now San Francisco, what have you done? So you got a player from the Eagles, which is Javon Hargrave. Well, guess what we did? We just slid another defensive tackle right in that spot that we just drafted, who has camaraderie and chemistry already. So we got that. San Francisco hasn't done anything else. They bet the farm to get Christian McCaffrey.
Right.
And you don't have a pick in the first round. So that's 31 players that you missed out on. That you could have got one of those guys could have been a difference maker. Because that defense, that offense is one player away. What do you think it would have been like if San Francisco was able to get Njigba? Like if they could have got him with Debo, Ayuk, and him at the slot or something like that. But they missed out on a player like that because they didn't have a first round pick. So to me, I'm going to say the 49ers is my biggest loser. You see a team that you're competing with in the NFC that you played against in the championship that beat you down, and they just got better while you sat and watched at home because you didn't have a pick. That's to me, that's my biggest loser is the 49ers on day one.
So with that being said, real quick, I think about it right now with the 49ers, right? I think about it right now at this moment. Right now, there are potentially two quarterbacks out there that they could make a move for if they decided to.
Right.
Ryan Tannehill, right? Because you got three quarterbacks in Tennessee. Then Detroit just drafted a quarterback, which means who do they got? What's the guy they got now?
They got Jared Goff.
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff. He might be on the block.
Just a side note, that San Francisco didn't have a pick in the second round either.
99, bro. San Francisco does not. They have the 99th pick.
So with the squad that they have with Debo Samuel, with McCaffrey, they don't really need like a superstar athlete. But if they move and they're able to maybe build, they might still be able to make some noise. I'm not saying Tannehill's elite at all, but with the weapons and stuff that they do have there, they can make a move. But I'm not taking them loser as you chose. But there's that they can do that they could make, being that Tennessee just moved the way they moved and drafted Will Levis top of the second round.
Yeah. What you think of your biggest loser, Professor Jeff? What's your biggest loser?
I put Detroit and Atlanta in the same boat.
Okay.
Yeah. But they both drafted running backs that they're going to rely on. I think Detroit just like got a tight end, I think, or something like that too. And
they got
else, the QB. So like it's like, okay, y'all trying to do a little bit of something, but like I'll put them in the same boat. Y'all gonna rely on some people and drown them out. These next 2 years for y'all gonna be trash.
Yeah.
My sleeper though, because this is Beagle going. I want to say it because I don't want it to be like, oh, nigga. Nah. I think it's not even really a sleeper for real. It's number 2. It's actually my number 2, just based off of round 1. The Texans.
Oh, I didn't think you was gonna say them, but I think they will. I think they absolutely could be a sleeper Texans. For sure. Yeah.
I think Texans are sleepers. We don't know what he's doing.
What else do you like? So what do you like about what they did?
So CJ, and what's the other
Will
cat's name? Will Anderson. So Will, like, all right, so D'Amico and Will, that's gonna be like a
match made in heaven, bro.
100% connect, match made in heaven type thing. Like he's immediate. Getting CJ though is, I feel like, the first step for him as like a real head coach, really getting to take this new QB and then running your fresh team, gonna be defense heavy and doing everything that you want to do. Like it's gonna be something, not like this is gonna be the season for him. Like this is like a thing, not like a make or break thing or none of that. Like it's not even that. It's more or less just a thing like the one to watch. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, oh, the Texans are gonna be ones to watch, especially if he does it the way that I think he's gonna do it, and it being, like I said, defense heavy, but at the same time, catering to the new cats on his squad and building on that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, this it's gonna be fire. I think Texas is gonna be dope. Them making the moves that they made is gonna be fire. So I'm like, all right,
I'm a,
yeah. He got himself a
I
QB and got himself a star, a defensive player that he can build from the ground up himself. You know what I mean?
yeah, I agree. I agree with you on that, and then I'll get Scott your thoughts too. But I think that
Sure.
I think that Houston is probably closer to being good than they are a team like Atlanta or the Colts. You know, I think,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
man, don't get it twisted. I don't care what happened to the Texans after last year. They played hard. Like it was a couple games that they lost, but it was some games that they gave people fits. They should have beaten Dallas when they
Right.
was at home. You know, they couldn't score, turn the ball over. Bad quarterback play. You're no different than Zach Wilson for the Jets. When you have bad quarterback play, you can't win. I'm sorry. It's just even the serviceable quarterbacks, the Trent Dilfers of the world, at one point Alex Smith was serviceable, but then he got with Andy Reid and became great. But like any of those situations, like you look at those guys, they weren't screwing up. Like Jimmy Garoppolo gets way more praise than I think he should, but he don't suck. So that's
No.
the like if you had to ask me, as much as I don't care for Jimmy Garoppolo, Daniel Jones, Kirk Cousins.
They all the
I'm
same person.
right. The only difference is Jimmy actually has one. so, so like
Right.
you
Right.
can phase all them dudes together, man. And they could look like the same type of dude.
Absolutely.
So when you got guys like that and you got a team like that, I just think that you just can't suck. And I think that Zach Wilson sucked. And I think that what he did, I think the Texans QB situation was just bad. So,
I got you.
I feel like that I agree. I think that the Texans are gonna be they're gonna make some noise. I think that they'll be one of the top two teams maybe in the AFC South. I think it's between as with this draft now. I honestly think it's between them and Jacksonville. I'm giving Jacksonville the edge because Doug Peterson is a good coach. Doug Peterson's a good coach, and I think he doesn't get enough credit. Doug Peterson's a good coach, but the Titans, I'm done. I'm out on the Titans. I'm out on the Titans.
Absolutely. Nobody was ever truly in on them.
And the Colts, bravo getting Anthony Richardson and faking out the entire NFL for making sure that nobody tried to get him, telling everybody he was going to get Will Levis. He was a pawn in this whole scheme. They had no intentions of taking him.
Bro, he was heartbroken day one. He reminded me a lot of.
They legit played him though because there's nobody else in the draft that was going to draft a quarterback. Like there was nobody else that was drafting a quarterback. Those three teams that picked quarterbacks was the teams that was going to pick quarterbacks. That was it. It was C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, and they thought it was going to be Will Levis, and they kind of used him like a pawn, like a bargaining chip.
Three African American quarterbacks have been drafted in the top 10, top 5, I believe it is. So that's something in itself, right? Blown in itself. So that's dope.
You see what kind of people that teams that are trying to win, not so much win now, but teams that want to be able to be in a position to develop their next set of players. You got to have a guy that can at least get you some wins, man. Like Justin Fields, he performed phenomenally on a team that he didn't really have much. It was circa Michael Vick when he first got to the Atlanta Falcons.
Right.
And at this point, I think that's what a lot of teams are going to go to do. Instead of getting the statuesque, stand in the pocket, get your head knocked off quarterback. Unless you Joe Burrow.
That type of quarterback is gone. They don't exist anymore. You have to be able to be.
Yeah, you have to be more.
So with Houston, I thought about it some more, and I love the fact that they took C.J. Stroud. The Will Anderson pick is great, but I still think that next year they're going to be drafting in the top 10. So now they lose that high pick to Arizona because every elite quarterback is in the AFC. All of them are.
A lot of
all of them are.
Yeah.
Who have as a receiver?
Who does who have as a receiver?
Who's their top receiver?
Oh, they don't have one.
Top tight end, running back, corner.
Running back. Damian Pierce is good. He's a good rookie last year.
He is. Damian Pierce is actually really good.
Kicker. You see what I'm saying? Like, so they made a good move, but I do think they gave up a lot to get Will Anderson. So I think this year, as good as they can be, they're still going to struggle. So they're going to give up a high pick to Arizona. So that's where I'm kind of like torn between the lines.
Yeah.
I love the aggressive nature. I love the aggressive nature of the move. Like, we get our quarterback and we get our linebacker of the future. But you got to give them at least, 2 to 3 years?
Probably.
At least before they really start making some solid noise. Because, again, all the top-tier quarterbacks, good or bad, are in the AFC.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They can make some noise in their division, though.
In their division, in their division. But in the AFC, it's high. My sleeper team, and this is probably going to sound crazy, and I hope I got it right because I had it right in my head when I thought about it. Was the Saints? Saints got Derek Carr, right?
Yeah.
They got the running back from Detroit.
Derek Carr's another one of those guys.
No. I feel you.
Another one of those guys.
They got the running back from Williams, right? And they still have Alvin.
Yeah.
And they still have a solid receiver. Right, you know what I mean, and they also got what's my man, the Swiss Army knife.
Oh, Taysom
Hill, right, and they're also in the NFC South. Not a lot going on down there.
That's true.
Not a whole lot going on down there, and they still have. They drafted last year the offensive lineman that I wanted, the kid Purnell. I thought he was a monster. I would have loved to see him in Chicago last year. So I put the Saints up there because they got pieces not during the draft, but during the offseason, during free agency, that can make them make some noise in that division and that stuff. So I'm gonna take the Saints as a sleeper team, even though it's in the NFC. I'm gonna take them. The losers of the draft, of course, are the Detroit Lions, and it's not because I'm a Chicago Bears fan. It's because I believe that they reached.
It is. Yes, it is.
Absolutely not. I love the fact that they made some noise last year. I love the fact that Dan Campbell's changing the culture down there. It's great. It's good. It was a good feel, even though we're rivals. I was like, it's good to see. And then they turn around and 5 of their players get busted for gambling on football games. I'm like, oh, ain't that great? Detroit is good into Detroit. And what's the first thing they do at number 6? Let's not get Dalen Carter. Let's get a running back. What are you doing?
Let's trade back. Let's trade back.
Trade it back to get a running back, and then get a linebacker. I'm like, I don't. So they're the biggest losers.
You get a linebacker that nobody knows,
right?
Like, and who's Jack Campbell? It sounds like a made-up superhero from like Last Action Hero or something.
Right. Oh man!
And so NPC on Madden that got drafted with your created player.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
You like, hey, that ain't the nigga I went to college with. Oh, he on the team too. Hey,
so
nigga Jack Campbell.
I don't get it. You know what you're gonna get from Jordan Love in Green Bay, and then Minnesota goes and drafts another receiver, Zay Flowers, to go alongside of was it Zay they got? They got Zay Flowers.
Somebody else. I know you're talking about, but they didn't get Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers went to the Ravens.
Jordan, USC.
Yeah,
to go alongside who they got. Right? So, I mean, that division is going to be tough. It's always tough. But with Aaron Rodgers out, now it's up to what the quarterback can do and to show. So,
for grabs.
Yeah, they definitely the biggest losers, at least of the first round so far. Like, it didn't look good at all.
I have a question.
Well, yeah.
What do y'all feel? How do y'all feel about the Jets?
Well, I don't. You know, I said this to my brother because I'm looking at the Jets. I'm looking at who the Jets picked up. They got an edge rusher, and then in the first round, and then I was looking at their off-season moves. just like how Scott was talking about their off-season moves. And I think they just got it, didn't they? I think they drafted another wide receiver. I want to say, not 100%.
They got a center.
Sure.
Yeah, they got a center. Yeah,
they got a center. Yeah, center in second round.
Okay, so I feel like that the Jets can be a team that I don't know if I want to say is their year, but I think it could be their year to get the division because I just don't like where Buffalo is going. They're that team that just, to me, they don't run the ball and they just gave up their running back. But I mean, they do got James Cook, who's Dalvin Cook's brother, which I think he's going to be a solid back. But I don't know what it is, and those are the teams that scare me. Is the teams that don't win, and I can't figure out why they don't win.
I got you.
Buffalo's been that way for a minute, though.
Yeah, because
Buffalo they've always been like that.
Turns into a deer in headlights at moments.
Yeah,
there's certain moments where you look at it, it's like you're like, what the hell is going on up there?
Yeah,
like,
Josh B. I don't.
He does, and at this part, at this stage of his career, with the success that he's had, that has to be alarming, because now you're running into a situation where Josh Allen looks like how Aaron Rodgers looked this year. You know what I mean? Like kind of timid, throwing bad balls, some fumbles, in key moments. And at this point, the regular season doesn't impress me with Buffalo. At this point, the regular season doesn't impress me with Buffalo.
Playoffs to see what they do. That's really counts for
but they've been to the playoffs the last two seasons and they lost.
That's what I mean. Yeah, absolutely.
They lost to Cincinnati last year. The year before that, they lost to Cincinnati last year twice, right? Ain't this the second time they lost to Cincinnati? Like or maybe they lost to Kansas City the year before that. But to me, it's like when your little brother number 3 at this point in the entire NFC, and don't get it twisted, Buffalo should have lost to the Jets. Didn't they lose to the Jets once?
They
should have
lost
to them twice.
Yeah.
If Zach Wilson had any resemblance of wanting to play quarterback. So,
and that's why I asked.
I think the Jets, you got to look at them as defensively, they're solid. And they're only going to get better because they got another year. That boy Breece Hall, before he got hurt, was a problem.
Yeah. He was killing
now you got Mecole Hardman with Garrett Wilson, and now you bring in somebody that can get them the ball.
Yeah,
like Aaron don't even got to be that good.
No,
he just gotta eat on the Patriots, eat on the Dolphins, and split a game with Buffalo, and they 5-1.
Well, see, and that's the thing about Aaron Rodgers being at the Jets, is that he's probably one of the least mobile quarterbacks over there. And the way these guys are just getting faster off the edge, these kids.
But Skids, he's so cold, man. Your back end got to be right if you playing against Aaron Rodgers. He don't care who's coming.
We're talking about 6'8".
He gonna throw the ball away quick. He gonna get it out quick.
Jordan Davis. How big is Jordan Davis? Height wise.
I don't know. I think he's like 6'4".
4'6'5".
6'4", 6'5".
Probably.
Right. Over 200, 300.
Like 3 something, I think, isn't
he? That man ran a 4. He ran a 4.5, 4.6.
Yeah, and
that's still Aaron Rodgers.
Nolan Smith run a 4.4.
No, he's 4.3. 4.3.
Oh yeah. Nolan Smith run a 4.3. Yeah, he's a 4.3.
That is crazy. So that's what I mean by, like, even though Aaron Rodgers is who he is, he's a bad man. I'll give it to him. That's the one thing that's always scared me about pocket passers now, as they got faster, starting with guys like Khalil Mack. They were just getting faster and faster as it went on. You even bring in Jadeveon Clowney, as lazy as he can be from time to time, the speed just started to get faster and faster. If you're sitting in that pocket and you think you're going to have 3 seconds to throw that ball, forget about it. You're going to have to be on the move. Those edge rushers and those lines, Hassan Reddick, he's coming. He's coming. You got to be able to move and be mobile. If
yeah, I don't disagree with you with that point with the rushers, but I'm thinking at this point, what I'm saying about the Jets making noise is that Aaron don't have to be that good, and I don't know any rushers in the AFC East that's like the ones you're talking about. Like there's like they don't really have anybody that scares you, because when you have that edge rusher, you gotta have a decent corner, or your front seven altogether has to be good. And I don't see any team in the AFC East right now that has all of those components. Like if your back end's not gonna be good, then your front seven better be solid. And at this point, I definitely don't feel like that with the Miami Dolphins. Definitely don't feel like that with the Patriots. They should be better than they are, but they're not. And then Buffalo, we just talked about, they choke games away. So
like the corner
Aaron don't have to be great. He don't even got to be great. Like, think about what I'm saying. He just has to be okay. He just got to be okay, because they had Zach Wilson.
They just need a quarterback to play.
Mike White
play,
and they won 9 games.
So just to win the AFC East,
huh?
For Aaron Rodgers, he has to be good just to win the AFC East. He's gonna have to play a hell of a lot better to beat Cincinnati, Kansas City, the Chargers. Hell, just in the AFC.
That's true, but you know what?
He hit the playoffs like that, right?
He went to a franchise that has been so inept that him going to the playoffs is a win for them, because they didn't go last year.
They were a bust. Like, you got to win the Super Bowl or bust, because you might get what out of them tops. Like, so
he don't even got to do that.
Their season, they got their schedule seems pretty light. I ain't gonna hold you. So Jets got Commanders, Browns, Cowboys, Broncos, Raiders, Dolphins, Patriots, Giants, Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, Chiefs, Chargers, Eagles, Bills, Browns, Texans, Falcons. They making the playoffs.
Oh man,
they making the playoffs,
bro. They got 11 wins on that schedule, man.
They making the playoffs.
They got 11.
11? You 11 wins on that schedule?
I ain't say 11. They making the playoffs
though. Well, there's 17 games. So
this is every team, like, in order, like, game. So Commanders, Browns, Cowboys, Broncos, Raiders, Dolphins, Patriots, Giants, Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, Chiefs, Chargers, Eagles, Bills, Browns, Texans, Falcons.
Come on, man. Browns, Texans.
They making the playoffs.
I just they first 4 games can be 4. They could be 4-0. They playing read the first 4 again.
Commanders, Browns, Cowboys, Broncos.
Commanders,
they're at least 3-2.
It's okay. You putting Chase Young out there, so we put Chase Young back out there if he's healthy.
I don't care.
3-2.
Commanders.
Don't matter.
The Browns. I'll give you the Browns. We're gonna
listen.
I don't think they're beating Cowboys, bro. I don't think
that's what Cowboys. If they lose any, so Commanders, Browns, Cowboys, Broncos, Raiders. If they lose, I say Cowboys and Raiders. If they
can lose Raiders,
they beating the Broncos, they beating the Browns, and they beating the Commanders.
They beating the Broncos, they beating the Browns, they beating the Redskins.
That's why I said they go at least 3-2.
You think? Hold on. You think that the Jets can't beat the Commanders?
I'm not saying they can't beat them. I'm saying the Commanders just play hard. Ron Rivera has those boys playing hard.
Listen.
And that's the first game of the season too. They getting
listen.
They getting
you gotta think about this too. I hear your point, but you gotta think about this. The Jets defense is cold. So who is gonna score from the Commanders?
Sauce getting 2 picks.
They got Taylor Heineke.
I feel you.
And they got Taylor Heineke, and they got Brian Robinson, who's okay, who only can run straight.
But here's my thing. Also, you're talking the first 5 games with no chemistry. Look at what Tampa Bay, look at what Tom Brady did with Tampa Bay in his first 5 games. They looked horrible. So they developed chemistry. So within those first 5 games,
not the first year.
Else.
Not the first year. The first year that Tom Brady was in Tampa Bay, they won the Super Bowl.
No, but the first 5 games. The first 5 games.
Good.
No,
they was trash last year.
Huh?
They was trash last year.
Bro, we beat them. We beat them. We was horrible. And Chicago beat them. He was there. And then after that, they got it together and then won the Super Bowl. So I think those first 5 games are pivotal because there's no chemistry between Aaron Rodgers and those receivers.
I think you're giving them other teams way too much credit. Yeah. You giving them other teams way too much credit.
Hey, listen, save this podcast. We're going to come back to it.
We will. Okay. And the Jets is going to be 5-1. Because you think that where's that Dallas game at?
Game 3.
Where is it?
Oh, in Dallas.
Okay, I game 3. I might give you. Where's the Raiders game?
Huh?
In Vegas. That's why I said Cowboys and Raiders are probably the only 2 games that I think that they will lose.
But you think that Aaron Rodgers ain't gonna be ready to play against the Raiders after they probably didn't want to give him enough money to go be back with Devontae Adams? Who's the quarterback for the Raiders? Jimmy Garoppolo? Is that what we talking about? Jimmy Garoppolo gonna have to see the Jets defense. I'll put money on that game. The Jets are gonna stomp on the Raiders. I will give you the Cowboys loss, but the Browns. No. Listen. Name one receiver. The Commanders. No way, man. No way. Not the Jets. And I ain't even a Jets fan. Not the Jets.
Hey, that's a meme like shit. Hey. I'm gonna make that my background.
That was perfect. Hey, did you screenshot? I didn't screenshot. It was.
I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Hey.
We'll come back to it. We'll come back. Oh my gosh, that was funny.
Hey, I'm not buying that, man. I'm sorry, I can't, man.
I got it.
But anyway, so let's talk a little bit about we'll touch a few of our last bit of the people we feel like missed out on the draft, and then we'll kind of get some closing arguments. Let's talk about the Titans. What do the Titans do now? They just drafted Will Levis, who, like we was talking about earlier, got played. They drafted Will Levis. They got Malik Willis, who they drafted last year. And then you got Ryan Tannehill, who doesn't have any guaranteed money. Any guaranteed money at this point.
Speaking of, they pick us in right now.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 3rd round, 81st pick overall. They pick us in right now, too.
Oh, it's the pick is in.
Mm-hmm.
They drafted
Tajay Spears, running back from Tulane.
Listen, Tennessee has to start over.
I think that's what they do.
Eric, come on, dog. Come on, dog. They were talking all smack, dog. Just bring your time to South Philly.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry's the only guy you got. The Eagles shut him down when you played him. You know what I mean? When the Eagles played him. Their GM got fired for this movie made getting rid of A.J. Brown. You have technically 3 rookie quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? So they have to start over. If I'm Tennessee, I'm seeing what I can get for Tannehill and what I can get for Derrick Henry. And get whatever you can get and move on.
I'm with you on that.
Like, get what you start over.
No, that's real.
I would do. Hopefully they're bad enough to where they draft in the top 5 and they can get the receiver coming out of Ohio State. Marvin Harrison Jr., his son.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That would be a great piece to add early next year if they end up being that bad. They should just start over.
That's a good point. What do you think, Professor Jackson?
Reset button. You tried it. It didn't work. Hit the reset button. Get what you can get for Derrick Henry. Get what you can get for Ryan Tannehill, because there's still teams out there that need one. The Bucks, they could use Tannehill. A few other teams could use a Tannehill. Anybody in the NFL could use a Derrick Henry, except the Eagles.
And you gotta send them out of the. You gotta send them out of the conference.
Yeah, get what you can get for.
That's what I agree with Skizz. Same thing. Yeah. Like get rid of them. See what you can get for them. Add it to the cap. Use that to build. And don't and respect the athletes. Don't waste their careers like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like let them, you know what I'm saying, see if they can get their last few years in somewhere else, especially as running back. You know, you get maybe like shit 8 to 10. Maybe you rarely ever see Emmett
I wouldn't
Smith
even say that much.
You know what I'm saying?
You probably get like 4 to 5.
Listen, and I'm just saying, like, in the league, you know what I'm saying? Not just like overall. Active, you know what I'm saying? Like actually on a roster, you got about 8 to 10 years, you know what I'm saying, to really like show improve or something before your body just gives out. You can't do it no more.
Yeah.
You rarely ever do you get, like I said, the cats like Emmett Smith where you can play 14 seasons and all that. And like that's not a common thing, you know what I'm saying? So it's, you, especially if you are like the workhorse, you know what I'm saying? So that's even more of a toll on your body. So yeah, get rid of Derrick Henry, get rid of Ryan Tannehill, see what you can get for him. Come on down, take your talents, bring your talents to South Philly. You can retire as an Eagle. It's all good. And we Gucci. Titans can start over.
I'm with you. I'm with you, man. And you can see in the draft and in the teams like this, you see connections to like organization, right? So the Jets and the Packers got ties. It's the irony, or the coincidence, I guess you say, is that Brett Favre traded to the Jets. Aaron Rodgers traded to the Jets. Both won their championships when they was 27.
Mm-hmm.
And both were traded 3 years after their successor was drafted. So you see the ties of that organization with the Jets and the Packers. Then you got the Eagles and the Titans.
The Georgia pipeline.
Oh man. Well, yeah. I'm gonna get on that. That's gonna be my closing argument. But I mean, Jeff Fisher was an assistant in Philadelphia before he went to the Titans. So and then you got AJ Brown with that move that was made for him. He ends up going to the Eagles. Now you got these rumors talking about Derrick Henry. When you start having business with an organization and you see it fruitful, either side, I think that you just continue to do that, and that's what happens in these kind of situations. My thing is that I think Derrick Henry, they're going to have to give him to the NFC if they do. I do not believe that they would empower any other team in the AFC to get a running back like Derrick Henry. So you got to think Philadelphia is interested. San Francisco doesn't need him and can't afford him. The Cowboys could maybe afford him. And I'm not being a homer. I hate the Cowboys. But I heard those talks too, and I was thinking that actually does make sense.
The Cowboys would make sense. Ooh,
it makes sense. It just does. They do have now. What I don't think makes sense for them is the money. And unfortunately, I don't think it's a better situation having Dak than it is having Ryan Tannehill. Because Dak is an injury away from somebody else stepping in, and now you got the same situation because he's the running back and he can't control what happens. I think that the best place for Derrick Henry would be a contender, and like I said, I'm not being a homer. It's the Eagles, and then if you think about any other place that in the NFC, where would he go? Chicago. Chicago, could they use Derrick Henry?
He can go to the Falcons, so we can get Bijan.
He can go to the Falcons, so we can get Bijan. Right. And then think about it, like does he go to the Saints? Do they pair him with Alvin Kamara?
That man,
it might make Alvin Kamara.
They both gonna retire at the same time.
They would though. That's probably true. So then you got to think at the NFC. In the NFC, where does he go?
Minnesota.
Los Angeles.
Shut up.
Minnesota.
They got Dalvin Cook already.
So that's what I'm saying.
Dalvin, he was injured. Wasn't he? He's been injured.
He only missed 3 games.
So you mean to tell me you wouldn't take Derrick Henry over Dalvin Cook?
Who?
I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm just
who the
saying
Seahawks
that
got?
they got the Kenneth Walker,
Oh yeah.
that young rookie. So, I mean, he's a second year this time.
Who the Bucks got?
He can go to Carolina.
Bucks don't have anybody. Carolina just signed Miles Sanders. They don't got the money. They can't sign to. They won't be able to take on a contract after having another guy that they signed to a new contract. Miles got that. Miles got that running back money.
I got you.
Yeah.
So the Bucks. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Hey, I'll even throw this out there. They won't do it because it's still in the AFC. But dang, why not Miami? He could go to Miami with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and protect Tua. If I would
Tua like an extra,
you save Tua's career until you can draft a backup. And if I'm the Dolphins, I'm like, look, man, I understand, but I'm giving you everything for Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
I'm giving you everything for Derrick Henry. So, that probably would make the most sense for him to go. Is somebody like Miami. I don't think that they will because I don't think that they're going to keep him in the division. I mean, in the conference. So, yeah, the Titans are I don't know, man. It's just you got 3 quarterbacks now. It's you got Will Levis and you got Malik Willis. It's almost like the Kirk Cousins, Robert Griffin III situation,
right?
And so none of that's ever good. But at this point, when you're the Titans, what do? You
gotta shoot every option. You gotta go at.
You gotta keep everything open. So yeah, I don't know. So all right, so let's close. We'll get some closing thoughts, and then we'll be back. Mr. Professor Jax will be back with us to finish out the draft on Tuesday. Our overall winners and losers. So just to get the word from everybody, and then I'll close. I'll go mine and close. I'm gonna go first, and then I'm gonna let y'all go, and then we'll close on this. But man, I love what the Eagles did. I love what the Eagles did, bro. I mean, we've touched on it. We've talked about what they did and everything. But I'm wearing this because I'm giving a shout out to Howie, man. Howie is a genius. He's showing that. I think that what we just did, people don't really understand. We just skipped a year, 2 years of chemistry building because we got guys that were all in the same locker room 2 years ago. They all young guys. They're all influential. And now they're in a culture where you got Fletch, Jason Kelsey, Lane Johnson, Brandon Graham to mentor these young guys and actually to legitimately pass the baton. I want Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham to retire next year. I want Jason Kelsey to retire next year. I don't want them to have to quit because they got hurt. I want them to give it one more go, try to win the Super Bowl next year, and then retire Eagles because they probably not gonna go someplace else. They just don't. That's the only reason why they signed those 1-year deals now. But the way Howie did everything was masterful because I explained this to somebody else. They let go of T.J. Edwards. They let go of Marcus Epps. They let go of Miles Sanders. They let go of Javon Hargrave. You signed Darius Slay back, which I did not expect. You got James Bradbury, who I wanted over Slay, actually. You got Bradbury back. Nakobe Dean steps in, who didn't even really have to play last year. Nakobe Dean steps in.
Right.
You got Fletch and all those boys still on the line. Now you got Nolan Smith, who runs a 4.3, who's another edge rusher, just like Hassan Reddick. And now you got another rotating guy with Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox, and now the boy Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter.
It's You got a stable of dogs, no pun intended, Georgia
Right.
Bulldogs. That's
Right.
that you're gonna have to run through that line. And then forget about going side to side because N'Kobe Dean run a 4-4.
Right.
N'Kobe Dean run a 4-4. Nolan Smith run a 4-3. And now you got Hassan Reddick screaming off that edge. Could you imagine what they nickel package would look like with Devontae Maddox, a Nolan Smith, a N'Kobe Dean? Like, it's stupid. Because now you telling me that I might be able to give Hassan Reddick plays off. He had 17 sacks last year. And now you telling me he might actually be healthy because I could put Nolan Richardson. Hey, Nolan, go spell him for a play. And he run a 4-3 like Scott was talking about. What they did, and if Rashad Penny can stay healthy, he's a good back. He's a good back. He just can't stay healthy. Yeah. So I'm like, the Eagles killed this draft. They killed the offseason, and they don't even got to start paying Jalen Hurts for 2 more years.
Right.
Like you'll never hear me say a bad word about Howie Roseman for the rest of the time he is in the office. I'm sorry. I don't care. I don't care what Howie does at this point. Howie could be like, hey, yo, Howie could be like, you know what, I think we gonna kick tires on Terrell Owens again. I know he's 50, but I'm like, you know what, Howie, sign him up. You got an idea. Something's coming up. You must have a plan. At this point, I'm riding with Howie. And my Birds, I love what they did. And, you know, every team, you hope that no team gets hurt. And I hope the same thing for the Eagles. It was relatively healthy for the most part all the last season. But I'm excited. I'm excited for them to get them boys in that locker room and just go to work. Like, that's the part that I think separates Jalen from all those other guys is Jalen's ready to work. And I'm excited for it.
Money is nice. Championships are better.
Yep. Cheers. What do you say? Your closing thoughts and just overall what you saw.
On me?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So real quick, my closing thoughts on the draft is they got a few more rounds to go. I agree with you 100%. The Eagles did phenomenal. I love what Houston did. But I'm going to switch it up on my closing thoughts real quick. I'm going to just make quick 5 little points, and then Mill, it's on you. One, Giannis has an elite mindset. I watched his interview. I think it's crazy dope.
Oh, yeah.
2, Jimmy Butler is him. He's just that guy.
Jimmy Butler.
3,
Jimmy Buckets.
Angel Reese is not only phenomenal on the basketball court, but for her to land those 17 NIL deals and to be making the amount of money that she's making makes her.
She's so smart, man. So smart.
Caitlin Clark, you are a phenomenal 3-point shooter, but LSU women's team just added another monster from Louisville. Forget about it. So those are my closing points. You know what I'm saying? Hey Bill, baby, it's on you, man.
I don't have no lies detected.
Man, I'm just gonna add on to what B was saying because I'm pretty much like that. Like how he rose him, did what he was supposed to do. And listen, like I said, I'm talking all that about Bijan, but I am not upset, not one bit, for how he did what he had to do with the draft, what he's gonna continue to do, and what he did with the offseason with these trades. Like I mean, one thing the Eagles actually had posted, and it caught my eye. It was talking about don't sleep on rounds 2 and 3, and I was like, damn, that do make sense, because not only did they post 4, but I had a couple players that came to mind myself. So we got B-Dog was 2nd round, 61st pick. Jalen was 2nd round, 53rd. Randall was 2nd round, 37th. Brian Westbrook was 3rd round, 91st. D-Jack, I think, was what, 2nd round?
He was 2nd round.
Yep. So it's just, you know what I mean? Like
I was happy when they got D-Jacks, man.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like a thing, like, yeah, we won the 1st round and stuff, but now it gets into the scout bag. Like, you know, the first round is everybody knows.
Yeah,
you know what
right.
I mean? Second, third, fourth round is scout bag. Okay, now who are these dudes? You know what I'm saying? That's from D3 schools, D2 schools. You know, they're not on ESPN all crazy, but they just
Yep.
as nice as, you know what I'm saying, all of these other cats, blah, 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 blah. You know, you got to really get into your scout bag. And this is where even more of Howie's genius, I feel like, is going to come in on the back end. So this is going to be the
Yeah.
stuff that we don't see. So when, you know, it's week 5, week 6, week 7, and we start seeing names that we ain't never heard of, or people start doing stuff, you know what I mean? And it's like, damn, like I remember with Caps like, the fuck is Zach Pascal? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just like,
Right.
he putting in work. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like that. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
to add to your point, that's what I was talking to B about before. That's why that first round pick is losing its value. They don't want to second rounders. They don't want to give up those third rounders, those fourth rounder picks, because that's where all your gems are. You know what I'm saying? Like those first, like they really haven't done too much. You know what I'm saying? Those second, third rounders, like, hey, yo, I want a 2 for this guy. No. I don't want to give you a 2, because that's where you can find the gems. You literally listed a list of Hall of Famers that all went in the second round. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want a first round pick. Like, you know what I'm saying? So just to add on to that point, that's a dope right there. That's dope right there, because it lets you know that value is later in these rounds. So,
I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna add just real quick, and then like I said, we'll close it out too. But great points for everybody on that. But I'm just looking at, just to touch on the Eagles, because like the Eagles won, so we're touching on the draft right now. They drafted an offensive tackle and they drafted a DB in the second and third rounds. So like those are, like you said, the sleeper names are the teams, are those types of guys. Like offensive tackle, like Cam Jurgens is the Eagles backup center who's been being groomed to take Jason Kelsey's spot next season. He's been doing that for the last 2 years. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what the other teams do. Our whole recap on Tuesday, we'll have everybody's like teams breaking down. But man, the noise the Texans made, I think it was beautiful. I think that the Jets, one of those teams that we watch and pay attention to over the next couple of days to see what they do. And I'm just interested to see, like, the Titans, what do they do? What is Detroit going to do? Because of the guys you said that they're going to have to maybe get rid of some running backs. And then how does the teams in the NFC East close the gap to try to catch up with Philly? And
they pray.
Yeah, that's what they do that. Yes, they do pray. And then in the AFC, the whole Lamar Jackson effect, like him getting that contract. Now, Joe Burrow is going to have to get his bag. So now you're minimizing those teams that can compete, because they're not going to be able to afford all those guys. And do they end up in the Dak Prescott situation?
Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you think that that's gonna change some things though with that money? So,
man,
what Josh was the first one, right?
For the recap, let's hold it. If we can go, I know we can go like another 45 on this one.
I just wanted to know, because like wasn't Josh the first? Wasn't Josh the first one with the bread for real? To get the bread from the Bills. Wasn't Josh like the first one?
Yeah, he was.
And then now,
look what they're doing.
So it's just like, you think it's going to be like a thing, or they're going to really have to, like, you got to do something first before we try to really like bring you in as the QB and just pay you?
I don't think that any of these teams have a choice. I think that if you got a guy that's close to being anything like a Lamar Jackson, a Joe Burrow, a Justin Herbert, a next level talent, I don't think you have a choice. I think that you just have to make that decision. I think the funny thing is, I think that the biggest surprise is probably Jalen Hurts, because Howie and them knew something, but they didn't know it would happen this fast. And I think that he was the surprise, why they maybe didn't get the chance to sign some other guys. But you make a good point, and I think that those guys are going to be tied to those franchise quarterbacks, because Denver they're stuck. They can't do nothing with Russell Wilson's contract. They can't do nothing with that. So, I think
Denver, free Jerry Judy.
Man, they had look.
I'm
gonna leave. I'm gonna close us on this. I'm gonna close
free
on this.
Jerry. Gonna say free Jerry Judy, bro. Let him go.
Yo, they had a list. I thought it was the most savage thing. It was the most savage thing ever, man. Seattle put up a Instagram post of all the draft picks, all the players they drafted from all the picks they got from the guy from the Broncos. They had a list of all the picks. It was like 6 names, and it was like Devin. It was like Devin such and such, the wide receiver from Ohio State. It was like had a list of all these dudes. I'm just like,
yo, listen,
start the whole team.
Yo, bro, Seattle got DK Metcalf, Geno Smith, and Jackson and Jigba,
and Tyler Lockett.
Tyler Lockett, yeah.
Hey,
San Francisco.
Career, so.
That's crazy.
San Francisco might be in trouble.
And who? And let me ask you this: Who does Seattle have to pay?
Nobody.
So why can't Derrick Henry go there?
That's what Jamil said. That's what Professor Jack said.
I said
thing.
Okay, all right. Hey,
he told it out there.
Bro, that would be scary.
If Seahawks, Bucks, Eagles.
He did it by inadvertently saying he was just like, who was the running back for the Seahawks? It was like Ken. Well, he was just like
crazy.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so we'll close on that, man. We, appreciate it.
It was the show, man. It was good having you.
It was good being on, dog.
Yeah, man, absolutely, man. So cool, man. So yeah, we definitely gonna close out on this one, and you guys tune in. This episode will be dropping tomorrow, so to be out there. Mr. Magic Man Skid is gonna do his thing with the editing, get that out there. But keep watching and keep supporting us, and we appreciate y'all.
We holler at y'all next week, man.
Peace.
Yeah.